Did you know that the feeling of extreme fatigue, stubborn bloating, and that uncontrollable craving for sweets in the late afternoon might not be due to your age or genetics, but rather to a metabolism operating in safety mode? Imagine your body is like a state-of-the-art smartphone, but with dozens of heavy apps running in the background, draining the battery and overheating the system. In biology, we call this overheating low-grade chronic inflammation. Most people accept this as the new normal of aging. But what if I told you there's a hidden factory reset button in your body, capable of reducing inflammation in your cells and reprogramming fat burning in a matter of days? Before you go on absurd fasts or live on just lemon water, you need to understand the exact biological timeline of this process. Stay until the end of this video, because throughout it, we're going to journey inside your body and discover what happens on day 1, day 3, and in the following weeks, when you finally decide to flip that switch and reset. Pay close attention, because the most challenging phase isn't when you cut out the bad food, but rather what happens in your brain immediately afterward. And I'll show you exactly how to hack that at the end of the video in what I call a metabolic hack. Grab a pen and paper to write down anything important. Before we start our biological clock, we need to look at what the latest science tells us about why your body is so sluggish. It's not magic, it's pure physiology in response to a highly hostile environment. Alarming data published in updated 2025 and 2026 guidelines, including impactful analyses discussed in The Lancet's famous series on metabolic health, show that if just 20% of your daily calories come from ultra-processed foods, your risk of developing metabolic syndrome skyrockets by more than 35%, especially after age 40. That seemingly harmless filled cookie and industrially produced sliced bread not only make you gain weight, they contain artificial emulsifiers and hidden sugars that leave your insulin receptors completely deaf. Insulin knocks on the cell door wanting to deliver energy, but the inflamed cell simply doesn't open. The result? Sugar remains in the blood, the liver transforms it into visceral fat, and you continue to feel exhausted. The true metabolic reset is, in practice, the process of clearing out this dirt so that your cells can once again listen to hormonal commands. But how long does this really take? Buckle up, because the first 24 to 48 hours are a real chemical roller coaster. On day 1 and day 2 of your reset, you cut the problem off at the root. 0 refined sugar, 0 white flour, and goodbye to inflammatory ultra-processed foods. Your body, which was addicted to quick dopamine spikes and abundant glucose, enters a state of alert and mild panic. It's the classic withdrawal phase. In the first 24 hours, to keep your energy levels functioning, the body begins to intensely burn the glycogen stores that were stored in the liver and muscles. And here's a fantastic detail. For every gram of glycogen burned, your body releases about 3 grams of water that was retained along with it. That's why, suddenly, you go to the bathroom much more frequently, and that monstrous abdominal bloating seems to magically deflate overnight. However, you may experience headaches, lethargy, and an irritability that would make you want to bite the corner of the table. This is what's called the metabolic flu, the exact moment when your insulin levels are finally plummeting from their chronic peaks and your system is desperately scouring the drawers for a new fuel source. Hang in there, because if you don't give in to the temptation of sugar now, day 3 brings with it an amazing evolutionary magic that will completely change the game. From day 3 to day 7, we enter the glorious transition and deep cleansing phase. Since you've stopped supplying cheap and easy glucose, your liver kicks in its reserve engines and begins breaking down your own body fat, transforming it into tiny molecules called ketone bodies. This is, without exaggeration, high-octane fuel for your brain. Suddenly, that mental fog disappears, you feel bizarrely focused, and most incredibly, your hunger plummets. This happens because the hunger hormone, ghrelin, finally gets back on track. Simultaneously, the body activates a marvelous Nobel Prize-winning process called autophagy. Imagine your body releasing tiny garbage trucks and cellular Pac-Mans that travel through your bloodstream eating old cells, damaged proteins, and metabolic waste, recycling it all into brand new cellular material. Joint pains begin to mysteriously disappear, and your skin takes on a different glow. Recent studies confirm that combining this clean eating window with a simple 12 to 14-hour nighttime digestive rest is more than enough to drastically reduce systemic inflammatory markers. You are literally healing from the inside out. However, hold off on the fireworks, as this is just the resetting of your body's hardware. The big problem is that reaching the 7th day feeling like a superhero leads many people to make a fatal mistake, thinking their metabolism is completely healed and reverting to old eating habits on the weekend. If you do this at this stage, the rebound effect will be brutal, and the cells will shut down again. For insulin sensitivity to be truly and deeply restored, and for your metabolism to permanently establish a new basal calorie burning rate, we need to move on to the crucial weeks that follow. The true, lasting miracle of the reset doesn't just happen in your liver, but in the darkness of your gut, where trillions of bacteria are about to wage a real war to redefine what you crave every day. We enter the crucial period that runs from day 14 to day 21. It is precisely here that the microscopic magic happens far from your eyes, the complete remodeling of your gut microbiota. When you interrupt the continuous flow of refined sugars and synthetic additives, the families of opportunistic bacteria that fed on this metabolic waste begin to wither and die. In their place, colonies of beneficial bacteria specialized in the production of short-chain fatty acids, such as butyrate, flourish. Butyrate acts as a potent chemical signal that regenerates the mucosa of your intestine, closing the fissures of intestinal hyperpermeability that previously allowed toxins to leak into your bloodstream and cause that constant abdominal bloating. More than that, since about 90% of your serotonin is produced in the digestive ecosystem, your brain finally regains the ability to feel pleasure from simple things, eliminating those uncontrollable urges to snack on sweets at night. Your gut stops being a continuous source of inflammation and starts functioning as a true biological shield. Moving beyond day 21, we enter the phase of deep cellular restoration and metabolic consolidation. It is in this window that your insulin receptors, which were previously deaf and overloaded, begin to respond with surgical precision to very small amounts of this hormone. The latest scientific guidelines on cardiometabolic health reveal a fundamental fact. To keep this reset active and prevent the dreaded rebound weight gain, anti-inflammatory nutrition needs to be combined with the preservation of your muscle tissue. Skeletal muscle is the largest metabolic drain in the human body. The denser and more active it is, the greater its ability to absorb circulating blood glucose without relying on brutal insulin spikes. When you reduce inflammation and begin to practice resistance exercises, even simple ones, your body alters its basal metabolic rate, causing you to burn significantly more calories even during absolute rest or deep sleep. However, there is an invisible and extremely silent enemy that can undermine all this progress without you even realizing it: chronic stress and sleep deprivation. When you sleep poorly or live in a constant state of tension, your adrenal glands trigger a surge in cortisol levels. Elevated cortisol is the biggest saboteur of metabolic reset because it forces the liver to release glucose into the bloodstream, even if you haven't eaten a single gram of carbohydrate, keeping insulin levels high and completely hindering the burning of visceral fat. Furthermore, cutting-edge studies show that fragmented sleep nights decrease insulin sensitivity the following day to the same extent as years of irregular eating habits. For your metabolic reset to be foolproof, ensuring a restorative rest environment and daily moments of slowing down is not an aesthetic luxury, but a non-negotiable biological requirement to deactivate your brain's emergency alarms. By connecting all the pieces of our biological treasure map, the timeline of your metabolic reset reveals itself to be simple, elegant, and incredibly powerful. In the first 48 hours, you eliminate excess retained water and deplete glycogen stores. Between the third and seventh day, autophagy clears cellular waste and mental fog dissipates as your body discovers the power of ketone bodies. From the 14th to the 21st day, your gut is fully repopulated, insulin sensitivity is reestablished, and your appetite is normalized. This is not a starvation diet with an expiration date next Monday, but rather an intelligent transition where you learn to send the correct hormonal messages to your biology, regaining the vitality, energy, and lightness that your body was genetically designed to have. But wait, before you close this video, I promised I'd deliver everything today, and I saved the biggest and most bizarre metabolic hack for last. Pay close attention to this. Did you know that you can eat the exact same meal with the exact same calories and have a completely different inflammatory response in your body depending only on the order in which you swallow the food? The latest science on metabolism has discovered that if you eat vegetables and salads first, followed by proteins and fats, and leave that carbohydrate, like rice, potatoes, or even a sweet treat, for last, you can flatten your blood sugar spike by up to 70%. This happens because the fiber from vegetables goes down first and creates a kind of protective mesh in your intestine, which delays the absorption of the sugar that comes next. In other words, you didn't need to cut carbohydrates out of your life. You simply used biology to your advantage to hack your digestion and prevent insulin from spiking. This isn't dieting, this is pure metabolic intelligence. If you've made it this far, it means you're part of the select minority of people who reject miraculous shortcuts and prefer to understand the genuine science behind their own bodies. Now I want to know from you. In which phase of this metabolic reset timeline do you feel you are today, or what is the biggest obstacle that has been holding back your energy? Leave your comment below, because I read and respond personally to each one of you. If this content opened your eyes and brought you clarity, subscribe to the channel now, activate the bell so you don't miss the next practical guides, and share this video with that loved one who is always struggling with fatigue and bloating. Thank you very much for your viewership. Take good care of your biological temple, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.